Start now.
Hello everyone and warm welcome to KPA Unicon webinar. Today we gather to discuss and present our solutions for greener and a more sustainable future. Many industries and utilities and other businesses are thinking and wondering how to invest in new green energy technology, especially during these uncertain times and also in other times, how to optimize the use of their balance sheets and how to make the projects as feasible as possible. In this webinar, we will explain what kind of solutions KPA Unicon has for project financing and potential ownership and other type of investment solutions there might be. The topics in the webinar and the agenda will be that first we will briefly explain what's up at us, so what kind of projects are we delivering, what are the current solutions and the highlights from our businesses. Then we will go through the capacity as a service concept we have developed for green energy investments. We will talk about export and project finance solutions, and as a case example we will explain what we are doing with ArcelorMittal in city of Zenica in Bosnia-Herzegovina. The people and the speakers you will hear and see today in this webinar are as follows. We have Laura Männistö online. She will explain us the capacity as a service concept and other financing instruments we have. We have Elvin Salihovic, who is our CEO of KPA Unicon Bosnia. We have Mikko Marttala joining the call, who is our CFO, and I'm Teemu Koskela, acting as the Vice President in the company and acting as a host to serve you in this webinar. We have Q&A open in the webinar, so if you have any questions, you can write the questions to the Q&A and we will go through them here in this session. But let's start with our business highlights. I will explain what are the main business segments we have in the company and what are we doing inside of each of these segments. Let's start with create, meaning in our world new plant solutions, turnkey projects and greenfield cases for green energy. On the next slide, there are some ongoing projects we are executing right now. There are a couple of projects in Finland, in Kemi and Haapajärvi, approximately 20 megawatt biomass boiler plants for district heating. We have projects in Sweden. In Sweden, there is a big boom of bio-oil fired heating plants for peak load production. We have cases and projects ongoing in Stockholm Arlanda Airport to Swedavia and for E.ON in Norrköping. So those boilers are 30 and 70 megawatts with outputs. We have projects in Poland, which is directed to Axis Technologies. It's a 45 megawatt Unicon Renefluid biomass boiler for CHP purpose. We have another 45 megawatt bubbling fluidized bed CHP boiler under commissioning in France to Dalkia. We will explain more in detail this Zenica project, which is mentioned in this map as well. And we have very interesting project ongoing in New Zealand to Danone Nutricia in Balclutha on the southern island of New Zealand. It's 20 tons per hour steam biomass boiler with Unicon Renefluid bubbling fluid aspect technologies. So these projects we are currently executing, and we have a solid outlook on our order backlog and also in sales pipeline. Then the second segment is renew. Renew means in our solutions retrofits and modernizations to existing plants. So some say it's a brownfield project then. What we do there, we reduce emissions. We are installing flue gas condensers and scrubbers to clean SOx and dust from the flue gases. We improve efficiency of existing plants by adding more heat surfaces, adjusting the combustion systems and so forth. And we are extending the lifespan of the plants by modernizing the structures and enabling our customers to have longer expected lifetime for the plants. We have delivered more than 400 solid fuel fired plants, so there are plenty of potential plants we can renew in our own delivery portfolio already. And we are serving plants which have been delivered by other companies as well. Third segment in our business is interact, meaning the digital systems, human-machine interface. So this is the platform we use to control the power plants and boiler plants, provide reporting and efficient remote monitoring and controlling of the plants. In our world, it means Plantsys platform, and we have more than 100 deliveries with our Plantsys system. And currently we are investing and studying artificial intelligence to be added to our Interact solutions. Fourth segment is called lead. What does it mean? Is that we want to lead the utilization and adaptation of new green energy solutions. We provide project development services. We provide financing, such as this capacity as a service. We will explain more in detail in this webinar. And we also provide operation and maintenance services. That's all about lead. And on the next picture, you can see one example of operation and maintenance case. It's from Croatia, from Grubišno Polje, where we have delivered as a full EPC turnkey delivery, Unicon Biocrate 23 megawatt power plant, which produces close to 6 megawatt electric. And we have 14 years operation and maintenance contract with the plant. So it was a full turnkey EPC plus 14 years O&M contract. Our customer is Aquo Energy from France, who is the owner of the plant through their subsidiary Energostatic in Croatia. So that's briefly our four segments: create, renew, interact, and lead, and some highlights what we do in each of them. So that was what's up KPA Unicon. If you have any questions about our solutions, please send your questions to Q&A, and of course you can contact us after the webinar. The next item we will go and jump into is capacity as a service, which is very interesting solution for investing in new projects. Like I mentioned earlier, we have Laura Männistö online. We have also Mikko Marttala, who are the experts on this field, and I would like to have them presenting this. And thinking that as a technology company, we have invested exceptionally heavily in developing financing solutions for customer investments, and this most significant solution is this capacity as a service. So Laura, could you please tell us more what it's all about and what are the customer benefits of this model?
Thank you, Teemu. I'd love to. Capacity as a service, it's a service-based energy production model in which our customer buys energy production capacity with a long-term contract from our service company. In the early stage of planning, many of our customers spend time around the same issue. Is it worth investing own or loaned money in the plant, or should they rather outsource the energy production? And of course, there's pros and cons on both of these options. One of the major benefits is that capacity as a service model is the predictability of the cost for the entire life cycle of the plant is very good, which means that the costs throughout the life cycle are easy to budget, and there's no surprises in form of unexpected maintenance or repair costs. And the second big thing is that when a company chooses the capacity as a service model, they don't need the capital for the investment, and instead it can be used to develop their core business, which in most cases, it's not owning energy production facilities. And we see that today the efficiency of working capital is a very important topic of discussion in many industries and in many companies. And capacity as a service model enables the necessary investments without burdening the company's own balance sheet. And having this size investment out of the balance sheet, it has very good positive effect on the important key ratios, which the financiers pay very close attention to. And one thing I would like to point out is that in standard capacity as a service model, we don't take the fuel procurement to us. But if the business case is such that the customer doesn't have the fuel already and is keen on having the investment as a capacity as a service, we would suggest a more advanced capacity as a service model, which is called a joint venture structure. And in this JV model, it's possible to involve another partner as a shareholder. Typically, it's a local utility company who can take care of the fuel procurement. And we have experience of this kind of project development as well, and we'll soon hear more about it when Mikko and Elvin will present our Zenica case.
Good. What do you think, what kind of customers could benefit from this capacity as a service model?
Well, we can offer capacity as a service to municipal energy companies and industrial companies. And we see that it's most ideal for companies who already have the needed fuel available as a waste stream from their own production. For example, sawmills who have sawdust and bark and that kind of items already available, and also steel mills who have waste gases as examples. And industrial company typically uses the energy by themselves in their own production. So the only major change in their business is that they no longer own the plant, but they act as a customer and energy off-taker of the capacity as a service contract. And when looking at the municipal utility companies, capacity as a service doesn't change the utility company's operating model. Only the ownership of the heating plant is outsourced, but the energy company continues to be the seller and the distributor of the energy.
Okay, interesting. Could you please elaborate more about the contractual details and items related to this?
For municipal energy companies, we can do contracts which last from 10 to 25 years, and clearly the lowest monthly cost can be reached when the contract is the longest possible. And for industrial companies, typically they like to, or are able to look at the little bit shorter contracts, and for them we can offer contracts varying from 10 to 15 years. And in case an investment is between 50,000 to 2 million euros, we can do contracts from 5 years. And as you can see the model on the screen, it illustrates how the responsibilities are divided in this model. So the only thing our customer needs to do is to define the plot where they need the plant and how much heat or other type of energy they need annually, either for their own process or for district heating network or whatever their need is. And KPA Unicon will be in charge of the design and construction of the plant. And of course, the plant is then to meet the agreed customer requirements. And we will typically also be responsible of the annual operational maintenance. And we will guarantee high availability and efficiency of the plant throughout the contract period. And if our customer wants to take partly or fully or any of the operational maintenance responsibility, this can also be negotiated.
So in nutshell, our customer is still acting as a energy seller, and our customers are still buying the fuel and procuring the fuel. So this model reflects to ownership and operation and maintenance of the plant. And with O&M, it seems that we are very flexible.
Yes, we are. And one thing customers often ask from the very early stage is that what happens when the contract ends? And basically there's 3 options on how to go forward after that. The contract can be renegotiated and extended, or the plant can be sold to the customer for a reasonable price, or we can come and disassemble and transport the plant away from the site.
Good. Are there any existing references of this capacity as a service?
Yeah, we do. In April, so approximately 6 months ago, our first standard capacity as a service plant started in Kokkola, which is in Finland. The plant is a 3 megawatt biomass boiler, and it's used to produce hot water for the district heating network in Kälviä area, which is 10 kilometers outside the city center of Kokkola. The plant provides heat to all households and industrial properties in Kälviä, which are in the district heating network. The contract is with the local energy utility company called Kokkolan Energia, and it's for 25 years. And the fuel we use there is biomass, and it's from nearby sawmills, mainly sawmills waste streams like sawdust and bark. And at the moment, we also have another project going on, which is the JV model in Bosnia-Herzegovina for ArcelorMittal. And soon we will hear more about it.
Okay, very good. In addition to this capacity as a service, would you tell us what other types of financing instruments we can arrange our customers to enable investments globally, and what are the potential benefits of the other instruments we have?
For projects outside our home market, we have a few options available. One of them is this already mentioned capacity as a service, which represent the out of the balance sheet type of financing. And of course, the more traditional way is to finance an investment with direct lending. And there we have very good experience of working with the Finnish export credit agency Finnvera. And with their support, it's possible to arrange buyer's credit financing for customers with good credit rating. And the loan tenors in this kind of financing range from 5 to 10 years, depending on the customer's needs. Typically, the pricing of the buyer's credit financing is very competitive compared to a bank loan, and the tenors are often also longer than the regular banks can offer. And the process is fairly easy for our customers as KPA Unicon will take care of the financial negotiations with Finnvera and the bank involved, and the financing does not strain customers' existing credit limits. The most typical structure of this kind of credit is that after signing the supply contract, the buyer pays approximately 15% advance payment, and the rest can be financed. But we have also seen cases where we have been able to find a financing solution also for this advance payment part. And the repayments start 6 months after commissioning of the plant and will from there on take place semi-annually during the loan period.
Yeah. Is this applying only to new greenfield projects, or can we use these instruments to renew projects as well, to modernization projects?
This ECA covered financing, it's possibly maybe also for brownfield if the investment is big enough.
Okay, like a flue gas condensing plant might be something like that. They are quite significant size.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have heard what kind of different solutions we have. How do you see what are the next steps for our customers to elaborate this and to develop the cases? How to start and initiate the process with us?
We suggest to start with a meeting and where we go through, of course, the technical aspects of the project and at the same time also the financial aspects. It's very important that we understand what our customer needs and wishes and hopes on this financial side to find the most suitable solution for the investment. And I think that all companies, both municipal and privately owned, that are about to make investments in new boiler plants, they should carry out an Excel exercise and calculate with real numbers to find out which type of financing is the most competitive in their case. Because owning a plant accumulates different types of costs annually. Some are related to capital, some related to maintenance, etc. And all these are relevant when calculating the full costs during a specific time period. And we are more than happy to assist our customers in these calculations. We are committed to have a role in accelerating the transition from fossil fuels to greener energy production, and we believe that we are able to provide an alternative and competitive pricing or financing solution for these replacement investments.
Okay, very good. Many thanks to you, Laura, for these descriptions and information. We already mentioned the projects in Bosnia-Herzegovina in city of Zenica, which is now under execution phase. It's actually already in the late installation phase, soon to be commissioned. We have Elvin Salihovic from our Bosnian subsidiary online, and we have also Mikko to complement with his comments regarding the project. Maybe Elvin, you could start and could you tell us some basic facts of the project?
Hello Teemu, and
Hello.
thank you for giving us a chance to tell something more about our project. So Toplana Zenica project is located in Bosnia and Herzegovina, city of Zenica, and there ArcelorMittal has the biggest steel production plant in the Balkan region, and they are also one of the biggest exporters in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Toplana Zenica project is where we are working on a new boiler plant. Actually, it's combined heat and power plant with 150 tons of steam per hour capacity and 14.45 megawatts of electrical power. And the best thing, of course, is that it will use waste gases from ArcelorMittal steel production as a fuel.
Okay. Thinking that the steam should go to the steel mill, electricity to the national grid, but where does the heat goes?
Of course, heat goes to the district heating, to the city district heating.
Okay. Okay. So there are many counterparts and the parties involved in the project.
Yes, actually, the project is the main stakeholders, let's say, are ArcelorMittal and the city of Zenica, because the city of Zenica is totally depending on the ArcelorMittal boilers for the city district heating, and of course these boilers are the most important thing for their technology process.
Yeah. Are there any other items in the background we should highlight? We should highlight about the project.
Well, if you are asking me how we structured the project, basically it's the ArcelorMittal City of Zenica, Finfond, and KPA Unicon formed a joint venture company in order to modernize and upgrade the power generation unit of ArcelorMittal Zenica, so that the upgraded unit will be fueled with byproduct gases from steel mill. And like we said before, this new company will sell heat to the district city heating system, and it will sell steam and electricity to ArcelorMittal.
Okay. Okay. And what's our role? What's KPA Unicon's role in this project?
Well, KPA Unicon is major equipment provider, let's say. Of course, besides the fact that we are 15% shareholder of Toplana Zenica, so we invested 15% of the total project value. We are also EPC contractor for Toplana Zenica. Basically, our scope is design, delivery, installation, supervision during installation, and commissioning of boiler plant together with wet scrubber for sulfur removal. And of course, this new plant will be totally operated according to European Union environmental norms.
Yes, and if I understood right, due to this new boiler, the old coal utilization will be significantly lowered in the future.
Yes.
So this is replacing coal in the energy production.
Yes, we will remove coal totally from energy production on this plant. So when we speak about the benefits here, we can think about two aspects. We can think about environmental and financial benefits of this project. We will have significant reduction of emissions. So just think about 180,000 tons per year of highly sulfur saturated coal as a fuel. And think about the achievements in reduction of CO2, SOx, NOx, and dust emissions when we eliminate all that coal as a fuel. And of course, we can forget about the typical ash disposal environmental issue that we have on coal-fired plants. So basically, we eliminate coal as a fuel and we utilize byproduct gases as a fuel. We have estimated savings of CO2 around 200,000 tons per year. And I'm sure that citizens of Zenica will get a significant improvement of living in our environment. On the other hand, when we speak about these financial benefits, think about all these coal-related costs in old plant. For example, we have purchase of coal, transportation of coal, handling and preparation costs. Of course, after we burn that coal, we need to have the ash disposal. New plant will use byproduct gases, or we can say waste gases as a fuel. So we cut all coal-related costs, and we create a circular economy in a way. We will have significant improvement of efficiency. New plant has up to 95% of efficiency. Decrease of costs for environmental taxes due to reduction of emissions. In example, we expect reduction of 94% in dust emission. And also think about production line reliability and district heating reliability with new boilers. So there are no unplanned repairments that can cause high and unpredictable expenses and inconveniences for citizens of Zenica, since they practically stay without district heating for days in last years.
Good, good. You mentioned that the main fuel is the byproduct gas from steel mill, and if in the past the steam was generated by means of old coal-fired boilers, what happened to these byproduct gases in the past?
Of course, they went into in the air, you know, and in Zenica actually there is one big display in the center of the town. It is on one of the biggest I think buildings in the town, and just imagine when you live in Zenica and every day you start your day by looking in that display showing the level of air pollution, you know, it's really not so nice way of living. So of course we will eliminate all these emissions caused by coal and improve the environment of the city of Zenica. So
yeah,
really positive story.
Yeah, and it sounds like a good showcase of a circular economy where the new energy production system is using industrial byproducts as a fuel. So that's very good. But I guess that's with every project we might have some challenges. So what kind of challenges were we facing with the project development, if any?
Of course, there were some, or should I there were many, but let's say that the most significant. The first challenge was local regulations and laws. Since Bosnia and Herzegovina is still not a member of European Union, KPA as a foreign company had to get all necessary licenses for construction and installation works. And this was really, how to say, interesting and exhausting process with all regulations we have here. Of course, we managed to do that, and we also established KPA Unicon Bosnia as a new office in Bosnia, because we always, try to make this project happens locally. Also, we had many challenges during designing phase in order to fulfill all local technical requirements and to harmonize design documentation with Bosnian norms. The next big challenge was COVID outbreak. We were facing with something new and frightening at that time. And since lockout happened, we were unable to get big crane from Croatia for heavy equipment lifting. And there was no such crane in Bosnia. Also, some subcontractors even stopped their production line temporarily because they had some COVID cases. So we had to rethink and replan. We managed to implement new necessary health and safety measures at site. We also replanned heavy lifting with, at that time, available cranes here in Bosnia. And the project has continued.
Okay, good. Mikko, do you have anything to tell us about how this joint venture company was established and how did it go?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of color. I think Elvin did a very good job on describing the project, but how this whole thing started back in the day was actually that the customer ArcelorMittal contacted us and said that they wanted to replace one small boiler in their current coal-fired boiler plant. Then we went there with my colleagues back then and started the discussion, and we presented to them this capacity as a service model that we have, where we could actually partner up with them and develop a solution where they don't have the power plant in their own balance sheet. And they got quite excited. So then we decided to develop it so that instead of only doing this one small boiler, we would be able to take over the whole energy production of the steel mill, and additionally the energy production of the district heating company of the city. So that was really the sort of big benefit of having this kind of model in place, that we were, instead of trying to replace small parts of non-functioning system bit by bit using normal, let's say, capital procurement, we were able to think big and make this kind of bigger project with much better benefits and have that financed for the customer so that they didn't really have to spend that much of their own money for the project.
Yeah, and if I remember right, the project scope of supply was also extended at some point to cover also these flue gas emission related systems, these scrubber systems. Yes,
we actually developed this project during 4 years, and because the development time was so long, actually the EU requirements or regulations regarding flue gas emissions changed during the development time. So we had to install a little bit better flue gas cleaning equipment, but it was no problem because then, we already had the financing parties in place, and they were very keen to invest in any new technology. So they actually thought that it's even better if we have a bigger project.
Yeah. Okay, we have at least 2 questions in the Q&A section referring to the Senica project. So first of all, who are the owners of the Senica power plant?
Yes, I think Elvin mentioned this already, but shortly it's ArcelorMittal Senica, who are the customer, are the main owner. They have limited their ownership stake here to exactly 50%, which means that they don't have to consolidate this to their balance sheet, but they still retain quite a lot of control over the project because they own half of the plant. Then other owners, we have City of Senica, they own 20%, and then KPA Unicon, together with our financing partner FinFund, we own 30% of the plant.
Okay, so and this 30 is split to 15 plus 15.
Yeah, between us, yeah.
Okay. So those are the partners in that project. Then there's a question, have you calculated a so-called carbon handprint for your solution in Zenica? Meaning that how much your solution reduces the carbon footprint of steel produced in Zenica? I think, Elvin, you mentioned that the CO2 saving was it 200,000 tons per year?
Yes, it's 200,000 tons per year. That's what we expect.
Yeah, and of course that it should be divided by the produced steel tons, but I don't have those numbers in my head. But the CO2 saving is 200,000 tons annually, so it's very significant. And regarding other Q&A questions, there is a question that this 24/7 standby for service normally included. What are normal ranges of availability guarantee? This must refer to our OFM services, and is this 24/7 standby normally included? I would say I can answer this as I've been involved in these projects many times. I would say that of course that's something we want to promote and sell, but it's a kind of case-by-case approach if it's feasible for the parties or not. Very often it is. So we have our own remote monitoring central in Finland, from where we can remotely supervise boiler plants. At the moment, we have approximately 70 units under continuous remote monitoring. Then there's a question that what are the normal ranges of availability guarantees? Of course, it depends on the case, but just by heart, I would say that it depends on the fuel and the solution, but to give some indication, it is between the range from 94 to 99% with the annual availabilities. Typically, the shutdown service lasts 2 weeks, so outside that shutdown service time, 94 to 99%, depending on the case specifications. So, and then there was a new question coming. Who take care of the environmental and other permissions in Zenica project? So who was responsible for consenting and permitting of the project?
It was ArcelorMittal's scope, as they are the client basically, and they took the biggest part of the ownership of the plant.
Yeah, quite often in these cases, it's quite natural that if we are building to an existing industrial site, we will do it together with our customer, do this permitting process together, because quite often the permits required, they are linked to the existing production permits that they might have there.
Okay. Good. As per now, I cannot see any other questions in the Q&A section. So I think we covered the items we had in our agenda. So we went through what's up at KPA Unicon, thinking our current business segments and solutions. I explained briefly about our ongoing projects, not all of them, but some. We explained what is capacity as a service, what other type of financial instruments we have, and what is this Zenica project we are delivering together with ArcelorMittal, and where we are really renewing the energy systems of city of Zenica in Bosnia-Herzegovina. I think there was a question in the title of the webinar that should one own, lease, or are there any other ways to invest to energy solutions? Of course, it's a case by case specific how to answer that, and we understand that there are many items we need to take into account where we are in different areas in the globe. But what is our aim is to provide new solutions and flexible solutions for our customers to invest and to really invest into their core competence. And like Laura mentioned, in many cases, the energy production, or let's say owning the boiler, is not in the core competence. So that's something we want to help with, and that's why we have this capacity as a service as a one instrument helping our customers for the new investments. If you have any other questions, please contact us. You can see our names and phone numbers on the screen. So we are here to serve and provide you more information as per your request. Many thanks for joining our webinar today. All the best and take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.